everyone, Brittany here of Porcelain Gardens, and I realized it's been like 6 months since I've done an update, so I wanted to do a homestead update for you guys, show you guys what I've been working on all summer long and our plans for the fall and winter. Let's walk around. Okay, so like usual, we'll start on the front porch. Tried to keep the porch clean and organized this summer, and it's kind of impossible. It just doesn't happen. Here's a bunch of seeds and stuff I've saved. Got a huge amount of walking onion bulbils that I need to get in the ground, and if y'all want any, please send me an email, porcelaingardens@gmail.com. I've been shipping seeds and bulbs to people, so just hit me up if you're looking for any seeds. Let's see here. I have a bunch of dead plants, a few live ones. Got this stuff better organized. Have the broad fork on standby because we have been clearing beds and broad forking as we go. Alright, quick pan around. You'll notice there's new raised beds. But let's start over here in garden 1. So here's the space. And yesterday actually I cleared this bed. This was the asparagus bed I planted at the beginning of the season. Here's my first homegrown dahlia, and there's a caterpillar in there eating it, but it did pretty good. It fell over, it was huge, super, super tall, and then we had wind and it fell over because I did not stake it because I didn't know you had to do that. That's okay, I'll try next year. This is my favorite tomato I grew this season. It's called Green Zebra. It's like this yellow and green stripe. This one has a caterpillar on it, but it's delicious. It's super tangy and tart, and it's the only tomato seed I saved this year. So here's the asparagus, and I just sowed a bunch of clover seeds in here so I can have a winter cover crop. Let's see. Of course, there's this entire garden has just been holy basil craziness all summer long. I've been harvesting and drying endlessly. The bees have been loving it. And I don't have the heart to cut it down. So it's just been holy basil all summer. I have some cow peas here that I planted a month ago, hoping to get one more crop before winter. Garden sorrel is still going well. I actually say I saved seeds from garden sorrel for the first time this year. In these 3 beds, I've sown some fall greens. So some brassicas here, and there's lettuce. I grew zinnias for the first time, and they're still going strong. I have 3 plants. This one I kind of hurt when I was clearing this bed for planting, but the butterflies love zinnias, and so do the bees, and it's been really fun to grow flowers. I have some peas going up this trellis. We had really bad, I forget the name of the pest. It's like a Mexican bean beetle or something. Really decimated all of my beans this year. I did not get a good crop, but this one's survived the entire summer and is pushing out new greens and beans now, which is pretty cool to see. Just more greens planted here, green onions, and then just holy basil. All right, let's move to the next garden. Okay, moving into garden 2, I have a muscadine vine on this side of the trellis, and we got our first homegrown grapes. I've just been eating them. I know they have seeds, but I think they're delicious. Okay, so then we have the thyme over here, a nice hyssop. I trimmed up the branches on this tree a little bit so I could get under it and walk around easier. We have a bunch of strawberries right here that are doing very well, much better than the other planting, the first planting we did. All right, I added a bird bath, which is very awesome. We can see it from inside and watch the birds come and drink water. And we get lots of little centipedes on it. They're just drinking water and frolicking. It's really cute to watch. This is all just self-seeded shiso. This entire bed is just oregano and mint. It's gone crazy. The front bed, we had big catnip plant here that I harvested, and then lavender and more catnip and elephant ears and roses. And y'all will just have to excuse the car noises. I'll just stop talking when cars are driving by. But I'm not gonna fuss with all that. Okay, so here is the next couple beds. This was the first fall planting I did. More cowpeas. I've just been planting this everywhere because the groundhog doesn't seem to eat the cowpeas, but he will eat all fresh and pole beans, like bush beans and pole beans. But he doesn't like cowpeas, so that's a win for us. These are all carrots from seeds that I saved from the garden. We just scattered them around. Then we have, let's see, this must be the chard and holy basil volunteers. We're going to have holy basil in this garden for the rest of the time. We just planted some radishes here and here. But here's lettuce and then just more holy basil always. Let's see. So we tore down some wood from the big barn that's like down the hill on our property. We made 4 raised beds. I'll show you these ones over here later. And we have just been piling up like all the clippings from the garden here. So we're just gonna, do kind of like lasagna garden beds inside them to fill them up instead of buying a bunch of dirt, because that would be expensive and I'd rather just use what we have. In this bed, I planted lettuce yesterday. All right, so going through the garden. This actually had, because we did it this way, we now have like a nice wide path down the center, so it's easier to walk. We still have lots of tomatoes hanging around. We haven't had frost yet. We probably will within the next 30 days. The Egyptian walking onions, just amazing crop, super easy to grow, and it's nice that we'll have them forever. So in here we threw down some seeds, and not a lot of them came up, so we're probably just going to scatter some more. It's a view of the front porch. Lots of basil volunteers. Started adding a path right here, and then as like these tomatoes and things die back, we'll extend the path all the way over here. So we have been like doing our buckets of compost and then piling like leaves and material on top of it, and that's how we're going to fill up these beds. So I have one like halfway full, and we'll get the rest full throughout the winter with just all the kitchen scraps. I grew okra this year for the first time. It was a lot of fun. I loved eating it. I'm just letting these seeds dry out now. We grew watermelon for the first time. We harvested 2 so far. Our first watermelon we harvested was 35 pounds. It was an orange, like the inside of it was orange. It was an heirloom variety, and it was delicious. And we have lots of watermelons still on the vine getting bigger. This has been a huge one because it just like covered this entire area with foliage, which I didn't have anything else planted or anything to plant throughout the summer. So it just helped cover the ground, and we're definitely going to be planting watermelons again next summer. I grew cotton for the first time, kind of just like for fun, to try something new. I have most of it on the porch, but I'm just waiting for these pods here to open up, and then you can see the cotton, and then I just harvest it. But I'm not sure about like pulling those before they open, so I just leave them, and then I check every couple days for freshly opened ones. This catmint is insane. That is 2 plants, and it's taken over the entire bed. The rosemary I planted last year is finally like getting stronger. It was super weak last year, but it's really doing something now. Here are the strawberries that we purchased at the beginning of the season. So there are 3 different kinds here, and they're doing really well. These tomatoes were all volunteers. It's just nice little cherry tomatoes, and it looks kind of crazy, but it's fine. Like, they'll be gone soon, and then we'll actually have paths to walk again. And our plan is to take down more wood once we can get back there. Right now it's like really overgrown and there's a bunch of ticks, so we haven't been able to get back there this summer. But once we can get back there, we're going to take down more wood, and we want to get this entire area as raised beds, which will be really nice. It'll make it much easier to walk around, and people will know where they're allowed to walk when they come to visit the garden and not walk on my garden beds, which is always painful to witness. But so here's just more watermelon. Here are the berries. So they did really good. The dewberry, loganberry, and tayberry. We had so many homegrown berries at the beginning of the season. And they look really sad and kind of dead right now. So we'll see what happens. I tried to get them all back on the trellis, but they're crazy and they just go everywhere. Then the figs just started, their leaves just started yellowing a few days ago because it started to get cold at night. But look at this one. Her name is Debbie. She's a brown turkey fig. And she actually has 3 figs growing on her. But we just cannot believe how big she got over the summer. When we put her in last year, she was maybe 24 inches high. And now she's taller than me. So that is amazing. Our blueberries. So this one's a ambrosia. That's an ambrosia. And then these 2 are pink lemonade blueberries. We got maybe 3 or 4 handfuls of blueberries this season. So we're optimistic we'll get more next year. I planted a couple of rhubarb plants. This one's doing the best. The nice hyssop, the bees just go crazy for. Always let that go all summer long because they have lots of food. And I trimmed it back over the past couple weeks, so it's putting up fresh flowers for them. I just cut, how the same you would with basil, any place right here where there's a juncture, new leaves, if you cut there, then new branches will come. So that's nice for my bee friends. Okay, let's move into garden 3. Okay, so this is the area we sheet mulched last winter, and I think this space is going to be my herb garden next year. I'm just going to start scattering little pockets of seeds all over the place. But this is where we have our perennials planted. I got a couple of ambrosia berry bushes here. Then we put in some more sorry, my shadow's in the way. Some raspberries or blackberries. I can't remember which is which. I have it written down inside. But we planted a lot along the fence line here. This is the first strawberry bed we did, and we haven't been watering it at all, so it looks pretty sad. But I'm hopeful, as we come into fall, the plants will recover. And then, let's see what else. Here's some sage plants I put in at the beginning of the season that are doing okay. Another fig tree. There's some more berries planted right there. There's 3 more there. Here's some lavender that I put in at the beginning of the season. Here is our pawpaw tree. Here are some Japanese herbs. This is Japanese ginger. You don't eat the roots like you do with regular ginger, but you eat the flowers. So right here is one of the little flowers. So these flowers are edible and tasty, kind of spicy tasting. You can see them all along the ground there. But that's pretty much it for this space. I didn't really plant anything in here this year, but I plan on planting herbs next spring. The greenhouse is just there's nothing in there right now. So I'll just skip over that because there's not much to see. We'll be planting greens in there for the fall like we did last year. It just gets too hot in there in the summer for anything. Okay, so let's move out to the new spaces to show you our plans for the fall and winter. Okay, standing down at the street, you can see in front of the fence, over here on the other side of the driveway, it is freaking crazy, guys. We don't mow, we just let everything grow. We call it a meadow to make ourselves feel better, but we are going to be sheet mulching everything you see. So this is what we've been starting on. We started yesterday. But yeah, it's finally time. We have wood chips already. We got 2 piles of wood chips dropped off already. And this is, like, so here's a great example actually. Here we did just wood chips. We spread wood chips, Bermuda grass. Like, we have such bad Bermuda grass. Unless we do cardboard, we're not going to actually accomplish anything. Everything's just going to grow back. So yep, we're going to be sheet mulching, starting here actually, the strip, and just going back, especially once we get our first frost, everything dies back. It'll be a lot easier for us to get everything covered. But yeah, that's going to be our big project this fall and winter, as well as we're going to be putting in, we're going to be building a chicken coop here. So we'll have chickens next year, which we're both very excited about. Me especially. I've wanted to get chickens for a while, but there's so many projects to spend your time on. There's just Bermuda grass everywhere, but the garden looks nice. We sheet mulched this little area yesterday because we were working over here, like clearing cardboard off tape, or getting the tape off cardboard, and this area was driving me crazy, so we just went ahead and covered this little section. So that looks nice. Then I have been starting on peeling tape off the cardboard and getting it ready for when we start sheet mulching. And then, here is our elderberries. We put in, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they were getting eaten back by like a deer or groundhog. So we built these like super legit cages around them, and they're finally like prospering now, which is really nice. And then back here is just like another crazy area. Maybe in 2 years' time we'll start covering back here. But we can only do so much in a year, so we're just being patient and just realizing like this is a lot of land for 2 people who have full-time jobs to manage. So we are just like patient, and we know that everything will get done in due time. Just focus on one task at a time, and yeah, just make progress. Keep at it every single day, and it will get done. Okay, so that is the tour of the homestead. I thank you guys for watching this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. You can also send me an email if you're interested in purchasing some seeds or bulbs. The email is purslingardens@gmail.com. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, that's where I post constantly about what we're doing out here. I haven't been as good at filming videos and posting them, but if you want to see like more up to date about what I'm doing, just follow me on Instagram, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you later.